Good morning. So today's show came from a viewer, Krista. She's a really good friend of this show, and it's about smoking etiquette. So she wrote me a message and she asked a lot of different questions, and I thought, you know what? I used to be a stand-up comic, and I think this is going to be an episode of Political Paula Incorrect. Because I have a lot of opinions about smoking etiquette. And, etiquette is a lot of things. Like, I know which fork to use. I know you work your way in. I know that the little bowl with the lemon in it isn't to drink, it's to dip your hands in after eating a seafood appetizer dish. Smoking etiquette is kind of interesting because probably of how old I am. And I'm not sure how old Krista is. And I'm not sure if she remembers the good old days as I do. I'm 53. Very proud to be. Thank God I'm 53. I made it. I remember the days where part of etiquette, part of hosting a classy party was providing actually cigarettes. And many of you who don't remember this for yourselves may have seen the films where there's a box on the coffee table in the living room when you go to a party and you open the box and there are cigarettes there. So the host and hostess are providing the open bar, there's alcohol flowing. They're providing the food, the hors d'oeuvres, and you didn't have to bring your own cigarettes to someone's house. They provided them. They were there. They were part of the party. There were ashtrays in every room. Everybody smoked. And people could wear their nice slinky dresses for a New Year's Eve party because they didn't have to go outside to smoke. They were in a nice warm house and people dressed really nice and fancy. And they smoked and they drank. I remember, and this is kind of late actually, the early 90s, a friend of mine had a baby. And when she went into the hospital, she had been a good pregnant woman. She gave up smoking and she gave up drinking while she was pregnant. And when she gave birth to her very healthy baby, she told her husband while she was in the hospital, I want a 6-pack of beer and a pack of cigarettes. And he brought them to the hospital, and she was right there in the hospital cradling her baby, having a beer and smoking a cigarette. Try that today. Children's Service is going to come give your kid to foster care. But that's the way it was. Everybody smoked everywhere. You were never invited into a home where you were made to feel uncomfortable because you smoked, or you had to think about what you were going to wear, that you have to layer yourself up because you're going to have to go out in snow or rain in order to enjoy a cigarette. And I think it's sad. I think it's really sad because the problem is that a lot of the people now who have all these rules about smoking, you can't smoke in my house, and I respect that. I don't have a choice. I have to respect someone who says we don't allow smoking in our house. And I do respect them for that. I just don't go to their house. I don't go to their house if it's 20 degrees outside. I don't go to their house if it's pouring down rain. I don't go to their house if it's snowing an inch a minute. Because I don't think that it's fun for me to go somewhere where I'm going to be treated like a pariah and made to be uncomfortable. I don't enjoy myself, so I don't go. Yeah, I can go to a restaurant. I can absolutely do that and sit down for a nice meal and not really crave a cigarette. Of course, I would like to have a cigarette in between courses, but that's not that big of a deal. It's an hour and a half, 2 hours of my life. But when you go to someone's home, as I did this past Sunday, to watch a football game, that's like a 4, 5, 6 hour event. And then smokers have to start thinking. Now, I went ahead of myself, of course, because I'm trying to get to the point where smokers were made into these pariahs and where nobody basically is welcome to smoke anywhere anymore. And I'm going to go back to overweight people. And the fact that smokers have only ourselves to blame for the way we are treated now in public. When they started going after the smokers basically kept our mouths shut. I didn't. I spoke up. But most smokers just said, oh yeah, I guess we really should like cut back or not smoke in public or, not bother anybody. But then, as I predicted, they started going after fat people. Well, the fat people, they weren't going to take that shit. They were not going to be the new smokers. Fat people said, you're not going to tell me I got to lose weight. You're not going to tell me I can't eat what I want. You're not going to charge me more for health insurance. I'm a beautiful 300-pound fat woman. I love buying 2 seats on an airplane because my beautiful fat body don't fit into one. I love downing 3 Big Macs every day. I can't wait to get the diabetes and the heart disease and the high cholesterol. I love Lipitor. Don't you tell me I'm ugly because I'm fat. I'm beautiful. I'm going to be in a bikini, walk down your beach, and pose on the cover of Sports Illustrated. And guess what? Now it's cool to be fat. They are on the cover of Sports Illustrated. If you call somebody fat, you can get murdered for that. People will go after you. You can't call somebody fat. But boy, you can still discriminate against a smoker. All these rules for smokers, all these rules. Places where I used to go, and I'm going to tell you this, former smokers, again, this is political incorrect. Remember, Political Paula incorrect. All the houses I used to feel so welcomed in. All the people I used to enjoy smoking with. They quit smoking, and now it's like, oh no, we don't smoke in this house. And, oh, my daughter is an alcoholic. We don't drink in this house anymore either. So now, not only can I not smoke in their house, a house that I always felt so welcome in, I can't drink in the house and I can't smoke in the house. Because they quit. Former smokers are actually worse than people who never smoked. Because people who never smoked, from my own experience, they don't really worry about it. Because they're like, well, I never smoked. So yeah, if Paula's smoking a cigarette in front of me, probably not a big deal for me. Not going to affect me. But boy, those former smokers. I know former smokers who won't talk to me on the telephone because they hear me smoking and they want one. They want one. That's what it's all about. Former smokers will say to me, if I quit, you can quit too. You really should quit. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. I'm going to do my best Jackie Childs from Seinfeld here. I didn't tell you to quit smoking. I didn't say I wanted to quit smoking. I didn't tell you to quit smoking. If you didn't want to quit smoking, you shouldn't have quit smoking. So why the hell should I quit smoking just because you quit smoking? That was pretty good, wasn't it? If any of you watch Seinfeld, the lawyer, Jackie Childs, yeah. I didn't tell you to use the salve. I didn't tell you to use the bomb. Former smokers are horrible. Horrible. They forget, or they do remember, how much fun it was to smoke. And just because they've made a choice to no longer smoke, they don't want you to enjoy it either. And then they want to guilt you. They want to make you feel bad. Well, I have the emphysema, or I had the bad cough, and now I don't cough anymore because I quit the smoking. You really should quit the smoking. Well, I don't have the emphysema. And I cough because I have really bad sinuses. And I cough whether I smoke 10 cigarettes a day or 40 cigarettes a day. Because I have bad sinuses. It's called postnasal drip. And how about you mind your own business? Yes, I do respect people's rights to not have smokers in their house. And this past Sunday, which is what I was getting to, is I was invited to a dear friend's house for the first time. I have never seen their new house. And I was upset. I was concerned as a smoker because as a smoker, we have to think of these things. It was to watch the football game. Neither of my friends smoke. They have 2 small children, and I thought, oh boy. I said to my husband, we've got to leave by halftime. Or I need the keys to the car. I'm going to go out to the car to smoke with the heat on, because it was, of all the weekends that have been 80 degrees, 76 degrees, it's been nice and warm. The one weekend I'm being told I need to go to a non-smoking house for 4 to 5 hours, and it's going to be freezing. But then I got to the house, and lo and behold, it was a smoker's miracle. They actually have a little place, like a den, they call it the man cave, with a big screen TV and a sofa and ashtrays. And it has heat, central heating. So yes, I had to put my coat on and walk from the house down a little path, short distance, and I walked in and I took my coat off and I sat down and I continued to watch the football game, and I could smoke a cigarette, drink my Mike's Hard Lime, and be comfortable. And boy, I can't tell you how much I appreciate my friends for doing that. And the reason they do that is they are non-smokers. They have small children, but their family members and their friends, they do smoke, and they want them to be comfortable in their home. And guess what else didn't happen? The children are 6 and 4. Not once when I got my cigarettes out of my purse and went out to go to the man cave to smoke, did those children say anything. Oh my God, you're smoking a cigarette. Oh my God, you're killing yourself and you're going to kill us too. Now see, the good news is the little girl is 4, so the schools haven't gotten a hold of her yet. And I guess, I don't know, these children were taught manners. You don't question your elders. You don't insult people for what they're doing. But it was a great day, because as a smoker, I was comfortable. And we did stay. We stayed until, oh my gosh, we got there at 2, we left at 8:30. It was a wonderful day because I could be myself without disrespecting the non-smoking people in the house. That's the way to do it. We're not allowed technically to smoke in our cars if there is a child under the age of, I believe it's actually 18 in some states, in the car. So technically, I pay for my car. I pay for the insurance on my car. I gave birth to my kid, but I can't smoke in my car with my kid. Which is kind of weird, because I smoke in my house where my child lives, but I can't smoke in my car. There's a hospital in Lancaster where you're not allowed to smoke in your car if it is parked anywhere within 500 yards of their building, even in their parking lot, even if you are inside your car with the window up. Now, when you're waiting for someone to get out of surgery, they give you a beeper, and the beeper only goes so far. And when smokers are bored, guess what we do? We smoke. So technically, I need to walk out of beeper range to smoke a cigarette. And I also wonder, because this hospital is in a residential neighborhood, people across the street who are in the homes that they own maybe can't smoke on their front porch, because technically it's 500 yards from the door of the hospital that's across the street. How rude is that? You know what I say with that? For those people, this etiquette, this political Paula incorrect, I own my house. I will smoke anywhere in my house. I will smoke on my porch. And anywhere outside, off limits. I will smoke anywhere outside, and I don't care. I will smoke in front of a no smoking sign if that no smoking sign is on a beach, outdoors, or in a park. Sue me, arrest me, fine me. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. So in answer to Krista's question, my smoking etiquette is it's legal. I am blessed to have a husband who has a good enough job that I can afford to pay the outrageous prices for cigarettes. And I will smoke anywhere I want, anytime I want, outdoors and in my own home. You don't like that my house is a smoking house? Don't come to my house. Now, I will give a caveat to that. I do not smoke around people who have asthma, people who have a true illness that smoking bothers them, a real illness, not, oh, I don't like smoking, or, oh, statistics say that secondhand smoke will give me lung cancer. No, no, no. Get the hell out of my house. Just don't come to my house. If you don't like smoking, if you don't like watching me smoke, or if you get upset because you quit smoking and you watch me smoke and you want one, don't come to my house. Don't even bother. You know? If you can't be around alcohol, don't come to my house, because there's always alcohol in my house and we drink. So I have the same rules for everybody. You know? We are a drinking house. We are a smoking house. My husband does not smoke. And I respect that. People ask me all the time, why don't you smoke on your show? Because I don't smoke in the living room. I smoke in the dining room and the kitchen, out of respect for my husband, who quit smoking, but has never once in a while he'll bitch about the price, but he doesn't hound me about quitting smoking. When my husband decided to quit smoking, he did it for himself. And he hasn't gone back. That's his credit. That's fine. But he has never pushed that choice onto me, because when he met me, he was also a smoker. So it's kind of unfair to change the rules in the middle of the relationship. And I also remember that when we were at our apartment and we would invite his parents over, all of a sudden my ashtrays would disappear. And I'd be like, what the hell are you doing? Well, my parents don't smoke. I don't care. They're coming to my house. I smoke. Put the freaking ashtrays back out. Your parents don't like it. They can always say no thank you to the invitation. I am going to smoke in my house, unless my doing so would seriously cause serious, right away illness to someone with a breathing issue or asthma or someone on oxygen. I know if someone brings an oxygen tank in my house, I can't smoke because my house is going to blow up. So it benefits me to probably not smoke. Doesn't mean I'm not going to invite someone on oxygen to my house. But it means I won't invite them if it's 20 below zero, because that means I got to go outside to smoke a damn cigarette. And I'm not going to do that in my house. And the last thing that Krista brought up, and this is going to make you laugh, Krista, I hope it makes everybody laugh a little. Is it okay to let a man, if you're a woman, to let a man light your cigarette? And is it okay to let a man who's not your husband light your cigarette? Now, different women have different, we talked about this health teacher, Mrs. C, who is really awesome. She is Cece's health teacher. And she prefers that men who are not her husband not light her cigarette for her, only her husband. And I say, look, I believe that any man who lights a cigarette for a woman, especially in this day and age, is a gentleman. And if I were single and on a date and I went to light a cigarette, and even especially if my date is a non-smoker, and he took the lighter out of my hand and lit my cigarette for me, he'd get a second date. Hell, he might even get to second base on the first date. I might go home with him. I think it's even more gentlemanly if a non-smoking man on a date with a woman and she has to go outside at the restaurant. I think it's really nice if the man goes outside with her and maybe lights her cigarette for her and stands with her as she stands outside in the cold like a pariah smoking her legal product. That man would for sure get to second base on the first date and get a second date and a third date, and hell, probably marry him, which actually I did. My husband doesn't smoke, but my husband accepts that I do. And I think that's very cool. And I think that we have so many more important things to fight over. So many more differences than whether you're a smoker or I'm a smoker or I'm a former smoker and I think if I can quit, anybody can quit and you should quit too. I think that's ridiculous. It would be like me saying I used to be obese, I used to be overweight, and I lost all this weight and so can you. That never works real well in this society because fat people have forced society to accept them. With all of their illnesses, all of their medical bills that other people pay, we have to accept the obese, but we're supposed to kick smokers to the curb. I find that wrong. And I'm sure some of you will find this show completely incorrect, which is exactly what my intention was. You know, smokers come in all shapes, sizes, all religions. We're good people. Just like fat people are good people. Some people who overdo it with the smoking get sick, just like fat people get sick because they eat too much. If we're not going to criticize them anymore, overcharge them for health care anymore, how about give us smokers a break too? And to actually completely, for once and for all, answer your question, as far as I'm concerned, Krista, there's no smoking etiquette. Buy them if you can afford them, smoke them, and enjoy every one. Hey, this is my last show for this week. Next week, I've got a really good show on Tuesday, which is going to make a lot of you think, might make some of you uncomfortable, my favorite shows, and my friend, the singing chaplain, Chris Adams, will weigh in on it. He already sent me a comment on Tuesday's show, so it's going to be an awesome show. I just hope there's no breaking news with Trump or anything that I have to report first, but we're going to really try hard to get this show on Tuesday. You guys are going to love it. And it's got a little bit of mystery, a little bit of the occult. And we're going to go back to our favorite topic as well, religion. Actually, it won't be religion. It will be faith. We don't talk about religion, churches and stuff on this show. We talk about faith. And so I'm really excited to share that show with you. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. I've got some awesome plans, which actually I don't know what they are, but my husband is surprising me with something. So I will let you all know about that when I actually find out what they are. But I have some getting pretty to do and some dressing up to do, and I'm looking forward to a big surprise this weekend. So have a great weekend and be safe. Love shows and grows. Remember to be kind to everyone. Don't kill each other over a Nintendo or something at the mall. And I'll see you back here on Tuesday. Krista, I hope I made you laugh a little and I answered your question. Thank you so much for the awesome topic. Political Paula is out.